I know nothing about him, but it seems like it's a big story, so let's talk about it. Josh Duggar of TLC's Now Teen Kids and Counting, indicted on child pornography charges. So I assume he's now facing 19 years and counting. Josh Duggar, whose family, I believe they were uber religious, weren't they? Once again proving that religious people are almost always incredibly hypocritical. Josh Duggar, whose family became the subject of a TLC reality show in 2008, was charged with receiving and possessing child pornography in Arkansas on Friday. In a court appearance over Zoom, he pleaded not guilty on both charges. Duggar allegedly used the internet to download child sexual abuse material. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the Western District of Arkansas said in a statement, "I do believe he was accused of abusing his younger sisters, if I'm not mistaken. Some of the material depicts the sexual abuse of children under the age of 12. Oh, they knew this was coming. Okay, I didn't know about the raid. Once again, I don't keep up with any of this, but this seemed like something I wanted to sip some tea to. 4 of his sisters and a babysitter? God damn. And he wasn't already behind bars? Fuck, put this motherfucker under the prison. If convicted, Duggar could face a fine of $250,000 and a prison sentence of up to 20 years for each count. Oh, he was a teen. Oh, that does complicate the situation. Okay, that's... ugh. He was arrested by the U.S. Marshals and detained on a federal hold, the Washington County Detention Center, on Thursday. Duggar, 33, was featured in a reality show on the TLC network with his family called 19 Kids and Counting that ran from 2008 to 2015. The show chronicled the lives of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar and their 19 children, of which Duggar was the eldest. Oh my God, it was a show about the family he was abusing? Wow. And it often centered around the family's religious beliefs as devout Baptists. Oh, see, I thought like he was the one with the 19 kids and shit. Oh, he was one of the 19 kids. Huh. Wow, that's fucked up. And I believe that this is a not uncommon tale among hyper-religious families. Their 7th child? How are they still... I thought he cheated on her. I thought there was a whole Ashley Madison thing. 7 kids. Jesus Christ. This motherfucker should have been castrated years ago. Oh my... I feel so sorry for the innocent people in that family. I feel so sorry for their kids that are growing up in that fucked up environment. For any of the cousins and the sisters that weren't fucking abusers. But then again, like it's a whole system of abuse. Wow. In 2015, following an In Touch magazine report that he was investigated for molesting his 4 younger sisters and a babysitter. 4 younger sisters and a babysitter. Duggar released a statement saying he acted inexcusably when he was a teenager and was extremely sorry. An Arkansas police report indicated Duggar was investigated in 2006 when he was 18. He was never arrested or charged with any crime. So that was before the TV show. How did TLC not know about this and put it on television? TLC should have done their due diligence. The Duggar family appeared to admit to the allegations in an interview with Fox News in 2015, with father Jim Bob Duggar telling Megyn Kelly his son touched the girls over and under their clothing as they slept, and that he was just curious about girls. No, he wasn't just curious about girls. He wasn't just curious about girls. He was a fucking abuser. Well, I mean, that's something, but they should have known the background. They should have known the background. It was incredibly easy to find an arrest record like that. A TV show should have done their due diligence. A few months later, following an apparent hack of extramarital affairs website Ashley Madison, Duggar was revealed to have frequented the site. He released a statement following reports by The Hollywood Reporter and Gawker saying he was so ashamed of the double life that he'd been living. He's been living a double life the whole time. Just straight up lying to people out front. They better not, I hope they don't have the children. How are the children still in the house? I've seen people have their children just taken away for the fact that the family is poor. Loving family. With all the care in the world, they're just fucking poor. I've seen them have their fucking kids taken away. This is a known abuser with a record. Absolutely. Never be around. He should be castrated. I have problems with a lot of the castration bills on the state level. However, there are certain people that I believe castration would be a fitting punishment for. But also, this doesn't address the psychological damage that I'm sure that this motherfucker is suffering from. He's also a victim. While he's also a predatory abuser and a fucking monster that needs to be kept away from the rest of society, he's a victim as well of this whole system of religious goddamn nonsense that rots people's brains. So, like, I want to show compassion towards that kind of psychological shit, but, like, also this motherfucker's a monster. And you can't discount that. Jesus. We appreciate your continued prayers for our family at this time, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, Josh's parents, said in a statement released Friday. Yeah, and the parents allowing that shit. I don't, and like, is even allowing's what they did. But I mean, I'm sure they fucking justified it somehow, fucked up in their heads. Once again, all that religious nonsense. So I'm sure they didn't want to see it. Have to admit that your child's a fucking predator. Yeah, he was when I read that line, he was just curious about girls. That made my blood boil. Yes, the rest of us live in this fucked up system and don't abuse children. You're exactly right, Tones. You're exactly right. But my mom's talking about like he's from a fucked up family. 19 kids in a religious fucking uber religious household. What Misty, what brand of Christianity were they? Do you know? Like Southern Baptist or no, it's probably Church of Christ. It's probably one of the really fucking. Uh-oh, here's Smokey. Some cult-like shit. Yeah. Hey, buddy. An offshoot evangelical. Yep. All right, speaking of monsters, let's check in with Ghislaine Maxwell, who apparently has a black eye. Here we go. This is the pic of Ghislaine. Basically just her face. You can see a little gray hair. Ghislaine Maxwell is sleep deprived and things are so torturous for her behind bars. She suffered a black eye, so claims her attorney. in a letter and photo she filed in court. So this is a filing on her behalf. So this is supposed to make her look sympathetic to the court. She looks like a goddamn monster as well. That fucking smirk. Holy shit. Psychopath. Maxwell's attorney, Bobby Sternheim, filed docs attaching a picture showing what Jeffrey Epstein's associate is looking like these days while locked up at NYC's Metropolitan Detention Center. It's clear she suffered a bruise under her eye, but how she got it is a mystery. Her lawyer's filings include a letter to the judge stating Maxwell only noticed the bruise after catching her reflection on a nail clipper. She doesn't have a mirror. Oh, poor baby. Sternheim says Maxwell, who's accused of trafficking underage girls to have sex with Epstein, doesn't know how she got the bruise. It appears prison officials aren't buying that because Sternheim claims officials threatened to put Maxwell in a special housing unit unless she spilled the beans on how she got the bruise. But Sternheim says if Maxwell's ever placed in SHU, it would be ironic because it would signal that Miss Maxwell needs protection from the very staff so intent on protecting her that she has no contact with anyone but staff. By the way, there's one theory, this is according to TMZ, there's one theory on how Maxwell got the bruise. Sternheim said there is concern that the bruise may be related to the need for Miss Maxwell to shield her eyes from the light projected into her cell throughout the night. Sternheim's concerned about Maxwell's sleep disruption every 15 minutes to check on her breathing, to which the attorney also objects, saying it's a myth that Maxwell's conditions of confinement are related to her being a suicide risk. Maxwell's attorney wants prison officials to axe the 15-minute light surveillance because they say sleep deprivation is having an adverse effect on her. It is a form of torture. I'll give them that. That's absolutely torture. She was providing an environment where Epstein and several others could have access to children. I do not have concern for Maxwell. I have concern for what she knows, though. Let's get her to spill the beans.